For those of you who were here last year, you may remember I was up here at that time to announce the initiative that Mark just mentioned, which was to, or is to, design and create a life-size monument, a statue of Neal Cassady and Jack Kerouac, based on the iconic photo by Carolyn Cassady, and to have it placed somewhere in the city of Denver, which, as Mark said, we think is a long overdue tribute to them. And when we made the announcement last year, we really weren't sure if there was much interest beyond just the few of us that sort of had the idea. But this was where we kicked it off, and we actually quickly picked up momentum, and I've got some great news to tell you just about what has happened over the past year. We had a fundraiser to raise money for a scale model of the statue, which we raised enough money, and actually the scale model is completed. Unfortunately, our sculptor, Sutton Betty, who lives up in Loveland, was, like John Cassidy, was snowed in tonight, and he was going to bring the model down. So unfortunately, in lieu of that, I brought the sketch again this year. I had this last year, so if you were here, you may have seen it then. But it is it's in plaster form now, 23 inches tall. It looks fantastic, and we've got some pictures up, I think maybe on the Birthday Bash website. But anyway, I'll get back to that. So we ran a fundraiser. Like I said, we raised enough money, and in conjunction with that, we were contacted by various people who, first of all, I want to thank, if anybody's here who contributed to that fundraiser last year, let me thank you in person. It was an immense help and enabled us to create the model. But one of the people who contributed to the campaign, excuse me, is a former president of the Curtis Park Neighborhood Association. I think that's the name. It's something like that, named John Hayden. And I don't know if John's here tonight. Is John here? I haven't seen him, but anyway, he kind of came forward and said, the Curtis Park neighborhood is where Neal grew up, and we're very much interested in having the monument located somewhere in Curtis Park, and we would like to help you raise funds for the full-scale model. So we've been working with John and others in the Curtis Park Neighborhood Association since then, and among other things, they have, excuse me, have put us in contact with officials from the city of Denver, Denver Parks and Recreation, and Denver Arts and Venues. And we've met with them. They've been very supportive of the cause. And so we just, back in December, we completed an application to donate the work of art to the city of Denver. We talked about locations for the statue, and kind of the number one place we have in mind, which so far everyone we've talked to has been supportive of, is to put the monument at Sonny Lawson Field on the corner of 23rd and California. And that's significant, as some of you may know, not only because that is Neal's neighborhood where he grew up, but also because there's a very vivid section in On the Road where Jack Kerouac describes walking by Sonny Lawson Field. It wasn't called that at the time, but walking by there at night, and there was a softball game going on. And he talks about, just how wonderful it was that all these different people from, diverse communities were there, all sitting down to watch a softball game together. And it was really kind of, it's one of my favorite passages in the book. So our hope is to site the monument there at the corner of 23rd and California, where it will look out sort of toward downtown Denver and the mountains, and it'll be right behind home plate if we're able to end up putting there. There's just a perfect place for it there. It's almost like it was made for it. So really we've made a lot of progress in this past year, and we're kind of at the point where, along with sort of coordinating with different neighborhood groups, we're trying to generate support from the neighborhood and call attention to the very rich cultural history of Five Points and the Curtis Park neighborhood, which we hope that the monument will help draw attention to. We're also kind of at the point where we're ready to start aggressively trying to raise funds for the full-scale version of the monument. And so In conjunction with that, last night we launched another Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign. And we'll have the link, I'm sure Mark will have it on the Birthday Bash website soon if he doesn't already, but if you just go to Indiegogo.com and search on Cassady or Kerouac, you can pull up the page, which includes, among other things, a really nice video that Channel 4 did about the project. You can contribute there, and if you can't contribute, you don't have the money to spare to contribute, or if you do, you could also help us by just spreading the word about this, because the more people know about it, the better, and we're really just trying to build a critical mass to generate interest in this and get it funded, and maybe this time next year, who knows, we may be a lot closer. Let's hope so. Anyway, thank you for your time. Thank you for your help.